Spider-Man bait and switch. Yes, MCU, they promised, oh, this is going to be a prequel to Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man, within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was always concerned, well, how's that going to work? Because Tom Holland in, what was it, Civil War, he said, I've only had these powers for like 6 months, so he's only been like Spider-Man for like 6 months, and they want to do a whole show based around his origins as Spider-Man, especially without there being an Uncle Ben or any of this stuff for them to really go into. What could you possibly do with the series, especially since he never really faced off against a big villain until Vulture. Raised an eyebrow. Like, well, that should be interesting. I guess I'll be taking on small-time criminals, and that would be cool. It'd be very, very street level, very grounded. I'm surprised that they would do a show around that.
Out! Here comes the Spider-Man!
They actually just flat out lied to people. You can argue semantics. Well, it's based in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What they promised was this would be the origin story for Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But it's an alternate reality because they've introduced all this stuff that makes no sense. Oh, we've got Doctor Strange in here who we never met before. We've got Doc Ock. We've got Norman Osborn, who said Oscorp didn't even exist in Spider-Man No Way Home. You've got Scorpion right here. That makes no sense. Doctor Strange. You've got Daredevil, Charlie Cox. This is the one great little nugget in all of it. Charlie Cox voicing Daredevil. Finally getting some Daredevil in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, other than Matt Murdock just popping up in No Way Home. But all these silly, ridiculous looking suits, he's gone through all those. You've got Norman Osborn acting as a stand-in for Tony Stark in this scene where he tries to be a mentor to him. You can see that's what's going on there. But this just, it feels like we were lied to. It feels like we were lied to because this is set in an alternate universe, obviously. It's probably going to be set into the universe that Doctor Strange visited in Multiverse of Madness. That's probably the connections to the MCU. What makes it canon? Them playing those games.
That is America's ass.
There is tons of evidence as to why freshman year is not canon to the MCU. For starters, Avengers Infinity War established that Doctor Strange and Spider-Man first met in space. And there's just so many more. In addition, the presence of Harry Osborn, Dr. Octopus doesn't line up. And so on. There's lots of things in here. So it's not really the Tom Holland Spider-Man that we're familiar with. We're not getting the origin story of him. We're getting a similar origin story. Something very similar to what he probably went to. And they're already banking on this working, so they've set up a Spider-Man sophomore year to follow up on this. But it's an alternate universe. Why? I don't care anymore. I don't care. I was slightly interested, and when No Way Home worked out, I was a bit more interested on seeing where this would go. But now I just don't care. I'm tired of this. And I'm sure there's actually going to be something in here that makes it required viewing for the movies to understand something. They're probably, like, this is probably tied to the, I can't even remember what the Earth is called, with John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. All that, what happened there. This is probably set up in that world, that universe. So later on, they can bring, like, villains from here, established in here, to live action, much like they had a Captain Carter in the live action. I'm not gonna watch every single Marvel thing that comes out, every mediocre little thing that comes out, just because there's promises that it's tied to their overall Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they'll probably put something in there, a character that's gonna pop up in the movies later, since they're dealing with all this multiverse of madness and leading up to Secret War stuff. It's really disappointing for you to say, oh, this is going to be the origins of Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But then to come out and just have it clearly not be what you said it was going to be, because it's in an alternate Earth of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That is really piss poor. That is a bait and switch straight up. Disney is replacing Tony Stark with Norman Osborn in new Spider-Man show. So ridiculous. Look at these scenes back to back. No, man. No. What are you doing? They're setting up stuff, so I'm assuming they could just cross it. And they probably started out wanting a simple origin story for Spider-Man, and then realized, well, wait a second, we don't have any villains. We don't have any like major characters that we could sell toys off of or anything. What are we really gonna do? Freshman year gonna be goated because it don't give us. Oh, a lot of people are so this makes zero sense to MCU continuity. I thought Spider-Man freshman year was a prequel to Homecoming. Why the they got Doc Ock, Rhino, Scorpion, Chameleon. Wow, just a lot of people are upset. They don't care. I don't care. The only thing that makes this worth tuning in for, to me, is Charlie Cox voicing Daredevil. So maybe I'll just watch those episodes. But this is not set in the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. That's so obvious with everything going on here. Maybe that more than sure there's going to be an episode that makes sense of why it's so drastically different. But it's not our main timeline. It's not our main MCU Earth. It doesn't make a damn.
I don't want to fight you, Flash.
I wouldn't want to fight you neither.
Jesus, Parker, you are a freak.
This is just like very misleading. You started off saying they're gonna get this, and while it's still similar, it's not just. This is what's going on, and freshman year is set to hit Disney Plus at 2024. Let me know if what you think about this. Do you like all this stuff? The animation style, getting Charlie Cox as Daredevil, getting Norman Osborn, and all this other stuff. But at the cost of people were flat out lied to. That's what happened here. People were flat out lied to. You can argue semantics. People were flat out lied to. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Stay awesome. Tune in for my next video, X-Men 97, and more coverage of MCU stuff going on. Stay awesome. Rock on.